fractions? Let me tell you something, Ellie. I don't know any more fractions, okay? 3, that's all. No TV for a week.
No! What happened?
I handled it, all right? Everything worked out.
I hate you!
I started this video with that clip because it frustrated me when I saw this episode and just kind of thinking about how people raise their children, right? And I did a video the other day talking about the rudeness. Well, the rudeness, where does it come from? Why is it so much rudeness? Why is it so much disrespect in the world? And I want to say that I believe, and this is all my opinion. I know that this video is going to be very controversial. There are going to be some of you that are just downright angry that I have the audacity to share what I'm about to share with you. And there are going to be some of you that are like, yep, I agree. So it is what it is. Bring it on. Okay. Again, this is my opinion. I'm not a major factor in this life for you, okay? Anybody that you're watching, you're getting information for you to use how you feel best. Life is put on a platter. You take from it what you will. But I'm going to share my life, my experiences, and my thoughts. So these are my thoughts, okay? I believe that if we want to connect the dots from where we are now and where all of this disrespect and stuff came from, I'm only going to go back to, let's say, the 70s. I was born in the 60s, and in the 70s is when they started talking about locking folks up for whooping their children. And I come from a time of whoopings, not just spankings. Okay, timeouts came next, but downright whoopings is a Gen X. And for those of us that are Gen X, with those whoopings, we understood that they sometimes were brutal. And we got soft, and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't want my children to experience this. And so a lot of us Gen X decided to just be soft on our children. Not me so much, and I'll tell that story in a minute. But a lot of our Gen X people decided to be soft on the children, which is kind of created some monsters. Those folks don't do anything to stop their children, and it keeps that cycle is continuing further down the road. So we just have a bunch of young folks that are just disrespectful. There's no boundaries. A teacher tells them, go sit down. What you gonna do to me? They go get up in the teacher's face. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not in school now. I'm so glad my kids are not in school any longer. My kids are grown. I have 2 amazing young adult children. But I would hate for my children to have to go to school with the kids that really don't have a concept of any kind of parenting now. It was loosening when my kids were little. But now I'm hearing the stories and it's just awful. So as a child, my mom, she had me at the age of 15, and she was still being raised by my grandmother, who I called Nanny once I was born. But my mother wanted to prove that she could be a parent. So her idea of being a parent was to really be hard on me, to really enforce the rules, And so I got whoopings for everything. Looking cross-eyed, you're getting a whooping, it was a lot of things. But you know what? I will say this about my mother, is that she always made sure she explained why I was getting a whooping. It was never just, I'm just going to hit you for the fun of hitting you. She always explained to me why I got a whooping. I really appreciated that. I know it sounds weird, but I appreciated that. But there was one time where she got a little carried away, and she was trying to, I was 6 years old. I'm trying to get ready for school. I think I hadn't brushed my teeth right or something. I don't know. But she was like, get in there and get it done. And so I call myself hurrying and hurry up. She's yelling. And I guess I'm just still too slow, and I don't get it done fast enough. So now here she comes. in this house that we lived in, it was the kitchen and then there was a bathroom right there. And so she gets me out of that bathroom and I know I'm about to get a whooping. So as she has my one arm, you know, I've got this hand and I'm putting it behind my back to protect my butt. And so now with her other hand, she grabs the first thing that she can so that she can whoop me. So I'm already hollering in advance. But now she hits me and I holler. Ah! She gets to hit me again and then she hollers. And she's like, oh my God. And she's screaming and I'm like, what happened? I'm the one getting a whooping. What's going on? And I look and there's blood skeeting out of my wrist because my mom, and she's been forgiven, you guys. I forgive her. She's no longer here. But at that moment, my mother had grabbed a butcher knife, was trying to whoop me with the flat side of it. But I guess it turned in her hand or something happened. And she slit my wrist. You might not see it that well, but there's a scar that I'll forever have right here and here. Two spots that it caught me. And she freaks out, wraps up my arm real fast, but she knows she's got to get me to the hospital. And while we're waiting for a car to come in Pittsburgh, we had what was called jitneys. Taxi drivers didn't come to our neighborhood. So we had jitneys, which is kind of like an Uber in Pittsburgh. Oh, I'm from Pittsburgh, if I didn't mention. So anyway, she tells me before the ride comes, you cannot tell them what happened. You can't tell them what really happened. You can't tell them that I did this to you. Because if you do, they will take you away and you will never see me and your grandma. Is that what you want? No, honestly, you guys, I was so mad at my mother at that moment. I was thinking to myself, yeah, I can do without seeing you. Excuse me. But I love my grandma. And I was like, nah, I can't not see my grandmother, who I called Nanny. So I said, no. She said, okay, don't say anything. Okay. You let them know you fell. Okay. So we get to the hospital. We sit down in front of this doctor. I'm getting stitched up. But the doctor is asking how this happened. And I said, I fell. And I guess I'm looking over at my mom. The doctor sees me, so he tells the nurse, get her mother out of here. And I remember my mom kind of looking at me like, don't you tell. And I'm thinking, I won't. So then the doctor says to me again, how'd this happen to you? You can't just fall and have a cut like that. So I said, I was running down the hill and I fell and there was some glass on the ground, and when I fell like that. Man, I'm thinking I nailed it. But I could feel his energy. And it was like, she's lying. She's not going to tell the truth. So he gets up. He's frustrated. He tells my mother to come on back in. I don't recall seeing that doctor ever again. Now, had that been today, oh, I would have sure enough been taken away from my mother. But I'm so grateful that I did not tell. My mom, did she whoop me in the future? Yes, she did. But with a knife, never again. If you don't give children a little bit of fear, they shouldn't be terrified of you. But they should know that if they cross the lines, there are going to be consequences. And it can't be, oh, I'm going to take away your TV. I'm not going to give you any candy. I get it. There are some kids that never, ever, ever had a spanking in their life, and they're good people to this day. I get that. But at the same time, you know, I don't feel like government really needs to step in and say that you flat out cannot put your hands on your child. And that's what happened. So as me as a little girl watching, you know, like, hey, if you mess up, it wasn't just your mom or your dad that could get you. It might be the neighbors. I had a paddling from the principal in school at the age of 6 or 7 years old. We but we made it through. Gen X, we are strong people to this day because of what we went through. And so, again, nobody should be abused. I'm not advocating abuse on this channel whatsoever. I am simply saying that we allow children to get away with way too much. They fear nothing. They feel like I can go say what I want to say, do what I want to do to any adult. There's no boundaries. And if there are no boundaries, then why should I not do the things that I want to do? Why? What's going to stop me? Who's going to stop me? What you going to do to stop me? And so you leave these kids to grow up, and then they bring forth more children who are even more disrespectful. Now, I've come across some really nice Gen Yers, I guess. I've met some good kids, but there's also a lot of people that just feel like they can do what they want to do and there are no consequences. And that's not right. So I guess this video is really just I wanted to give my perspective of this whole kinder, gentler way of raising kids. Yeah, it's nice that we're not as brutal on children as we used to be, but there still needs to be some balances, and you can't just keep letting kids do everything that they want. You know, one time I had told my daughter that she couldn't go to some party or something like that, and so she was upset, and she was talking with one of her friends, and her friend told her, man, I wish my mom was like your mom. You are so lucky, because your mom loves you enough to make sure that you come home and that you do the things that you need to do. My mom lets me do anything I want. Now, it's crazy. It may sound like everybody should be able to do what it is that they want, but sometimes that's what love is. Love is saying, I love you so much and I'm trying to protect you. I don't want you to just go out there and get taken or abused or the worst things that can happen, male or female. You have to be able to show love in strength without going overboard. So anyway, that's all I have for now. You guys have a great day. Hey, like this video, share it. Give me your thoughts. I'm ready. Go ahead, give me your thoughts. If I don't say anything, it's okay. I might not have time to get back to everybody, but go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Talk to you later. Bye.